From everything that we're hearing on the rumor sites, it sounds like the Canon EOS R6 Mark III is coming as quickly as winter weather is expected in the Great White North. But instead of getting validation on various rumored specifications, dates, and pricing, we got the opposite. In the latest post by Canon Rumors, they roll back many of the previous rumored specs. But they did offer a few Easter eggs to whet our appetite. Click subscribe and we'll get right to it. It means more to us than getting your driver's license on the first try. Hi, I'm Simon, your friendly interdimensional blurred UFO photographer, scanning the news and rumor sites so that you don't have to, saving you time for more important things like sorting through your stamp collection by country. I didn't have too much faith in the previous Canon EOS R6 Mark III rumored specifications as, well, to be honest, they just came too early and from untrusted sources. Canon Rumors published a lengthy but well-worded story on what they would like to see in the Canon EOS R6 Mark III. But instead of offering us more details, the story rolled back many of the existing details. There have been a few specifications rumors in the past, but they were a long time ago, and none of them are likely accurate beyond a few things that would simply be the natural evolution. Previous rumors weren't too far off what we would expect, which is why many of us were happy to go along with them. But with an announcement widely expected to happen here in 2025 with not much left in the year, we should expect to get some leaked validated specifications, pricing, photos, and even a Canon tease poster or video to come out soon. A teaser like we got with the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, or more recently with the C50. And recently we did have a solid source come forward with a somewhat vague statement on the schedule. Something will be announced in October and a lens in November. That's all I know. The Canon EOS R6 Mark III, the R7 Mark II, and perhaps some lenses. All of these are highly likely for an end of October event. But if we are getting an end of October event and announcement, we should expect these leaks to start flowing soon, like tree sap flowing in spring pretty soon. Canon Rumors has claimed we will have a Sunday, November the 16th announcement and a US Thanksgiving, November the 26th announcement. Canon has rarely announced cameras or lenses in November. And I know what you're thinking, Kathy. Canon released the Canon EOS R6 Mark II in November. And they did, but it was early. It was November the 2nd. That's essentially October the 33rd. Now, every other Canon November announcement has also come pretty early on in the first week of November. The RF 24-105 f2.8, remember that? Well, that was November the 2nd. The RF 200-800mm f6.3 to 9.0, again, November the 2nd. The Canon C300, any guesses on that one? Now, if you guessed November the 2nd, you'd be wrong. It's actually November the 4th. The latest November announcement that I have on record is actually November the 6th, and that's for Canon's 8K broadcast lenses. Releasing later in November, Canon risks getting drowned out by US Thanksgiving, and then of course that turns immediately into the Christmas holiday season. With all this historical data, I'm going to predict an announcement date range between October the 21st and November the 6th. Date forecasting much past that doesn't really carry much water, at least in my camp. And now, on to the specifications. There's going to be all that AI stuff with a Digic accelerator alongside an updated Digic X processor. There's no mention on the sensor size, just mere speculation that it could be potentially 24 megapixels or 32 megapixels, the same size sensor found in the Canon EOS C50, their latest cinema camera released last month. And if we go with my forecast range of nothing later than November the 6th, well, not knowing the exact sensor resolution or details about the sensor at this point, it shows that we just don't know what we're talking about. We don't know if it's going to be 24 megapixels or 32 megapixels, whether it's going to be the same sensor found in the C50. That's a little puzzling at this point. Well, one thing it shows is that Canon's been doing a very, very good job of keeping the lids on their rumors. They're starting to clamp down. Just a couple of years ago, if you wanted to know what was going to be in one of Canon's latest cameras, well, it wasn't hard to find out at all. I mean, the Canon EOS R5, the Mark I, On, what was it, January the 27th? We knew all of the specifications for that camera. We didn't believe all of them, but that was known then. And the announcement wasn't for 6 months later in July. 6 months later is when we knew the specifications for sure, but we had them all the way back in January. And here we are, about a month away from the announcement. And we don't know anything really about the camera other than it's going to be, well, the R6 Mark III. And I know what some of you might be thinking, well, then maybe it isn't the R6 Mark III at all. Well, I've got multiple people that should be in the know, that claim to be in the know, that are normally in the know, that say it is going to be the R6 Mark III. But as for a specific date, at this point, I really don't have anything. So let's go ahead and take a look at the shutter speed and get off that rant. We won't see anything faster than 40 frames per second, unless it comes with a crazy 195 frames per second, the same feature found in the EOS R3. And that's a fair cop. Generating 40 frames per second, lossless RAW, think about that for a moment. That's going to require at least one CF Express Type B card. So just do this. What's 4 times 4? 16. 40 times 40, that's 1600. Now that's assuming that we're looking at an average of around 40 megabytes per file, which is possible if it's lossless RAW. I mean, my R5 Mark II with 45 megapixels is anywhere between 50 and 75 megabytes. So that's 1.6 gigabytes per second. That's a lot. Well, that starts throwing you up into CF Express Type B card slot territory, and that's what I'd be recommending. That would give us a decent buffer. Now, if it doesn't go with CF Express Type B or even Type A, well, it could still do 40 frames per second, but compressed RAW, and you wouldn't be able to spray for very long. And it would give the Nikon Z6 Mark III, and even the Nikon Z6 Mark II, well, the win still, because Nikon's been sporting CF Express Type B in their 6 series for several years now, a direct competitor to Canon's 6 series. And that, folks, was it for Easter eggs. Now, we didn't get any new details in that Canon Rumors post. Things will heat up soon as we're approaching the end of the year. That I'm sure of. I've been doing this far too long to know that that is a given. I'm also tracking a few trade shows, both at home and abroad, which I'll bring to you shortly, along with the best sale prices of the year, especially as we get close to Black Friday. Now, to give you an idea of what I'm seeing right now, the Canon EOS R5, the Mark I, is back to $29.99 at B&H and Adorama. But I'd expect to see that drop to $27.99 as we get closer to Black Friday and probably last until Christmas. For the United Kingdom, well, I'd like to welcome Wex Photo and Video, where you can get the R5 for $44.99. That's $44.99 quid or pounds. And now for our European viewers. We are currently working on the finishing touches to one of Europe's oldest professional camera stores with 110 years of experience, a camera store that several viewers told me about. I expect to announce this I expect to announce this retailer soon that sells into every European country, and they love cameras as much as we do. Thanks so much for being patient with me as I bring you more affiliate partners to serve your local camera needs. Thanks to everyone for using my affiliate links. This channel is very much viewer supported. I don't use sponsorships, and I don't plan on bringing that anytime soon, as I believe that, well, we should get right into the information and not use the first 45 minutes to set up a sponsorship ad, which takes anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes long. I don't want my videos to be vehicles for ads. I just believe in getting right to the news. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon, perhaps tomorrow morning at the same time. Cheers. Thanks for watching.